the whole world's addicted to the drama, only attracted to things that'll bring the trauma. But if you only have love for your own race, then you only leave space to discriminate. And to discriminate only generates hate. And when you hate, then you're bound to get irate. Yeah, madness is what you demonstrate. And that's exactly how anger works and operates. Man, you gotta have love just to set it straight. Take control of your mind and meditate. Let your soul gravitate to the love, y'all.
Dravidans, the southern Indians, who are very dark in skin color, they say they're actually related with the Aborigines of Australia, the same race. And these people are very old, and they were the original inhabitants of India, and their culture, they think, was rather primitive, or at least it was peaceful, agrarian. They were simple people. And then the Aryans, whom they claim came from somewhere in central Russia originally. The Aryans came down and they conquered the Dravidans, and thus the two races mixed. And that's why you see today the northern Indians are lighter in skin tone and the southern Indians are darker. So this is their theory, and it is based on absolutely no evidence at all. There is neither scriptural evidence, there's nothing in the Vedas which indicate that this happened. Neither is there archaeological evidence. Just the real reason for it is ethnocentricity. This word means that the someone belonging to a particular ethnic group, out of bodily attachment, he tries to make his ethnic group always superior to the others. So the Europeans have respect for Vedic civilization. They cannot hide that Vedic civilization was extremely advanced. The Vedic scriptures speak for themselves. The Sanskrit language speaks for itself. So the European scholars, this started in the last century, about the middle of the last century, middle towards the end of the last century, these type of speculations. That actually the glories of Indian civilization the root of it can be traced to Europe. The Aryans really came from Europe. Initially, when the Europeans came to India and began to investigate the Vedic scriptures, their initial response was that European civilization has its roots in India. There was a famous, well-known early German Indologist, Sanskritologist named von Schlegel, around the beginning of the 19th century, 1800, like that. So that was his conclusion. That was the first, and you can understand, first and most obvious conclusion, that he could see that the Vedic scriptures are very ancient, and the knowledge contained within the Vedic scriptures is very vast, highly developed, and he could see how Greek and Latin, these languages which form the basis of European culture, they are derivations, they're coming out of Sanskrit. And he could see how the knowledge, of the ancient Greek philosophers, it seems to be like an imperfect or partial duplication of Vedic knowledge. So now, he was the first to uncover these things, and that was his conclusion, a very simple, straightforward conclusion. Now, when his book was published in the West, then it was accepted at first, but then other scholars started to think that, wait a minute, now what this means is that our culture, European culture, is inferior to those Indians. Now how can that be? Because now India's come under the control of the British, who are Europeans. So, and the British especially became worried that such kinds of ideas, this will undermine our whole standing in India. So then other scholars gradually started to come up, as scholars do, you know, there's one theory comes out, and then other scholars come 20 years later with some other theory to counteract that. So gradually, the theories evolved to this point that the Aryans came out of central Russia somewhere. Actually, in the last century, the 19th century, that's the current theory, that Aryans came out of central Russia. But different scholars in the last century, they're from different countries. Like some scholars from Germany were saying they came from Germany. Some scholars from France were saying the Aryans came from France. But then they found they couldn't get away with that, so they moved it over to the Caucasian mountains. That's also, you know, this word Caucasian is also used for white-skinned people. So this is where this idea comes from. It's just European ethnocentrism. There's no proof for this at all. It's just a complete fantasy. It's based on a very, of course they will say, well, you know, they will cite something from Vedic scriptures and old Vedic scriptures and from the scriptures of Iran, the Zend-Avesta, which is in a language similar to Sanskrit. But this is also very, very poor interpretation of the scriptures. This has been shown by scholars, how this interpretation of the scriptures is very, very forced, very artificial, not at all scholarly. But somehow or other, this idea, although there's no scholarly basis for it anymore, it is stuck. Of course, now Indian scholars, they refute this. That's an interesting debate if one is into these things. How the Indian scholars, they give evidence to refute this Western theory. Yes?
You practice what you preach, and what you turn the other cheek. Father, Father, Father.